Hello guys and gals of the internet and gals of YouTube. What is up everybody? Sorry for the weird angle you might see here. I'm basically having to charge my camera as I do this. But this channel update of November 10th won't be that long. There'll be a bit of info to cover, but I'll see if I can get through it as quickly as possible but also make sense. So it shouldn't be a long one here, but don't worry, it's going to be nothing. When I say changes, it's more format changes a little bit. You know, it's nothing like it was when I stopped doing digital camera footage and moved to direct capture. It's nothing like substantially big for you guys to get used to. I suppose the biggest change is the capture card itself. Now, a bit of a backstory here. Lady Tomwood's basically been looking for like her own capture card sort of thing, and she actually found out that the AVerMedia LGP Lite apparently it takes less load on the CPU or something. I hadn't really thought about switching capture cards. I've been really kind of pleased with the Elgato and what the stuff I've been using, but ever since September, when I got my PC fixed, or maybe even before then in some regards, I'm starting to have some issues with it. It's very small and it's not really noticeable much, and it only happens in certain videos for some reason. But basically, sometimes before my PC got fixed, fixed I guess, because it wasn't really working because the water pump was broken in it. I started to notice sometimes that I think it was at the Manchester City game of my FIFA 15 playthrough last year. When I recorded that the first time, you know, on the TV, I've already explained this during a stream earlier, but basically I'll go through it here. You know when you get a bad signal on your TV, and your TV sort of, sometimes probably in the old days or something, would kind of go like, there'd be like a screen freeze or something. Basically, the Elgato started freezing sometimes. And with the Manchester City game, it was really bad because after it froze, the whole audio got delayed, the video jammed for a good few seconds, and then I had to redo the game. That's basically what that little pre-match note was about. But it wasn't really a problem after that. And I actually figured that maybe if I turned the preview screen off on the Elgato software, it actually thought I'd fix the problem. I was able to do Life is Strange Episode 4 with basically no problem. I thought it was just kind of the PC, you know, because I thought like the PC wasn't particularly, well at that point, we actually found out, as I said, the water pump had broken the PC. So my uncle got that fixed and we got that sorted. So before the PC was done, I actually purchased an Elgato HD60 and a Blue Yeti microphone. I'm still having a few issues. The screen freezing isn't as bad, it's only for a split second. Well, at first actually, when I recorded some footage, I noticed that sometimes in some videos the audio would just cut out for a split second. It's like I'd be in the middle of saying a sentence and then I'd just stop for a split second, and when I started talking again, it resumed. Now, it's not really that big of an issue, but it's certainly a little bit noticeable, but it's nothing really substantial. What if I have to say something important, really important, and the important word just like blanks out, you know? And then I started to see that the screen freezing was then coming back again. So I don't know what it is. I mean, my Elgato HD60 was basically new when I bought it. It was new and in the box, it was packaged and everything. So I don't know whether it's the software or the Elgato itself. It could be the software, because Lady Tomwood actually had the same problem in one of the Gears of War videos, but they're a lot less noticeable. You know, with the Blue Snowball, her audio doesn't seem to cut out at all, but mine did. I thought it was the microphone, but it's not. Because as you've seen with my Forza 7 Championship Season Mode playthrough, you've seen, and most other videos actually, with the Elgato, you've seen that the audio can last the amount of time it's supposed to do, like 15 minutes or however long the Forza 7 Championship Season Mode playthrough is. Now with the Season Mode Championship playthrough, Championship Season Mode playthrough, sorry, I plugged the Blue Yeti into a USB on the PS4 and it seems to work that way. So I know it's not the microphone. So I'm starting to think, well, what's the problem here? It turns out it could be the Elgato. Here's why. basically, Lady Tomlin was actually looking at their capture cards the other day, and she actually bought one for herself. Now, what she bought this for, it's actually the AverMedia LGP Lite, or LGP Lite, yeah. And basically what that was, she kind of thought, well, according to AverMedia and people that have used it, the AverMedia apparently takes less load of the CPU. And for Lady Tomlin, that's especially important because she only has a basic laptop. She doesn't have a gaming PC. So, she thought, well, it's just more logical. She's only got a basic PC, she hasn't got a gaming laptop or gaming PC or whatever. But the real kind of problem I had with the Elgato, especially recently, was streaming. Now, I've done the first 3 streams that are on my YouTube at the moment. They're all exported to YouTube, and there's a playlist on the channel for you to check those out. Basically, my major problem recently with the Elgato has been the streaming capabilities. Now, the big problem has been during loading sequences. I don't know if you've watched Mortal Kombat or my Street Fighter streams, but basically during those streams, every time the game would load something, the audio would stutter. It would go, I would be talking and it would go, that sort of thing. Only during loading. It wasn't during the fight or during a match or whatever. It was only during loading. And that's really annoying, because like I said, I want to go into streaming. I want to make it a big thing. Well, I don't want to make it a big thing. I kind of want to stream games that probably would be too time consuming as playthroughs, say Metal Gear Solid 5 or a Final Fantasy game or things like that. That's kind of what I focus on Twitch. But I will stream other stuff as well, as you've seen. But I thought, Lady Tomlin just bought it, and apparently it streams very well, and apparently records very well as well. So what I did just a few days ago was actually a stream of Killer Instinct. It was as smooth as anything, apparently. There's no skips in the audio, there's no stutters, the screen quality looks pretty good. So yeah, it came out really well, and I was like, I've got to get one myself. Because the Elgato has all these problems I'm having with it, and the AverMedia seems to be okay. Then I need to get one. And just in the post, just probably about a few minutes ago, here it is. Yeah, it's just a capture card switch, so it's not really going to be that much different from what you normally see. It's just a capture card that's going to be a bit different. I've played around with it a little bit. I've played around with Lady Tomlin, which seems to be working well. I just need to find the optimum settings for capturing playthroughs, really. Streaming is not really important. I've kind of got that locked down. The only thing is I need to go into OBS and do my own notifications and stuff that Lady Tomlin's already done, apparently, so she's going to have to do it for me because I have no idea what to do. Unless I use some YouTube videos, I guess that's what they're there for. But yeah, the AverMedia GL310 or LGP Lite or whatever you want to call it, it's got so many freaking names. There is some benefits to this. One of the benefits is the streaming, obviously. The streaming is better, as you've seen from my Killer Instinct stream recently. It's better. The screen quality is just as good, even though I'm running on a lower bit rate than a lot of people because my internet is not that great. I can only run as high as 5 megabits per second, I think MBS stands for, or something like that. So I can only run at 5 megabits per second. I think I tried this at 4 and it seemed to work out pretty well. So streaming is actually working really well. I don't know how it looked fully yet. Obviously, I'm going to have to get a few followers and kind of test out how that works. Lady Tomlin has actually done a stream herself, and that looks pretty good. So yeah, this is a definite streaming machine. The only thing with Lady Tomlin is the commentary is pretty low, so she might have to lower the game volume or put the mic close to herself. That's kind of a disadvantage of this. Not so much for me, but for more Lady Tomlin, because the audio, when you capture live commentary, is pretty low standardly. You have to kind of be right next to the microphone like this to talk. But I think with OBS and streaming, she's actually able to adjust the dials on there as well, so that might double the commentary sound that comes out of the live commentary. So that might actually help with streaming capabilities. But for recording being low is no good. So obviously we might have to just lower the game audio, but fortunately on my Blue Yeti I actually have a dial that I can increase to make the volume higher without having to adjust the volume dial on, say, the software basically, or the driver or whatever. So I don't know why I was still holding it. So I'm pretty fortunate because I can just turn that up and find my optimal volume setting, and I actually did that with some tests I run on Black Ops 3 the other day, which I'm not going to upload. I'll redo that series once I've found my more optimum settings and my upload times and whatever, because that's what I kind of have to think about. You know, I have to think about my upload, the time of the upload. Like higher megabit per second is basically the quality slider on the Elgato, so obviously I need to find the kind of balance between not being the uploads like so long. My average was like 40 minutes with the Elgato, and the slider was in between the good and the best quality, but I don't want to run at the best quality because it increases the file size and the files are gigantic and then it takes longer to upload. So I don't want uploads taking so long, you know. I want about 40 minutes tops because that's kind of what I'm used to. So I need to kind of sort that out with this thing. And the audio bitrate, I don't think I need to change at all because I can do that with the dial at the back anyway. Later on I might have to, but I then noticed that audio bitrate is actually in the volume of the game, so that's redundant. So the one bummer for Lady Time Mode is the Blue Snowball that she hasn't got a volume dial on it like mine has. Mine has the gain dial on it. Lady Time Mode doesn't, so that's the only problem. The Blue Snowball, you'd have to be right next to it to actually talk. So that's one thing we're just going to have to get around at that point. So that's more of a disadvantage. The other advantage of this is the fact that you don't, when you plug a console in, that's it. That's all you have to do. Just plug in a console, set your refresh rate, do your wizard thing, and you can set the game consoles, for example, and it'll cover all game consoles. You don't have to switch it on the PS4 or switch it to the Xbox 360 on the Elgato settings thing. You can do, it does that for you. You don't have to do that. You just have to set it to game console and that's it. It covers all the game consoles: Wii U, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, maybe PS3 if you can work around it, or any console really. Wii U, you know, it just works for everything. And it's the same for PC. Probably not going to do anything with PC yet because I really kind of want to get a dual monitor to do that, because obviously I could record with PC, but and it probably wouldn't be so hard with this, but as hard as it was, but I'd still have to back out of the game, find the window, and then close the video. I'd still have to do that. So with the dual monitor setup, I wouldn't have to do that. So I might wait till I get that. I need to run some PC tests with this thing anyway, so I'm going to do it anyway. But if that situation changes, I'll let you know on Twitter or whatever. So I'll let you know how that's going on. So that's an advantage. It switches to everything. You don't have to set it into a tab or anything. It's all there and it's all saved. You know, you can save the settings. You know, you don't have to change anything. You can just boot up the software, put it in, put your capture card in, plug it in, done. You're ready to go. So that's an advantage. And like I said, the streaming is an advantage as well. The streaming on this works much better than the Elgato's does. But I think that's always been the case. Everyone who streams uses Enable Media. I know the girl from Oz uses it. I know Vash uses it. I know my friend Khalib uses it for streaming. So this is the stream machine basically that can also record gameplay footage as well. So like I said, the format really isn't going to change that much. But this leads to another disadvantage that this has. This doesn't have its own little editing program. Now, to be fair, the Elgato doesn't have an editing program either. You know, the Elgato is very limited in what it can do in terms of editing. So obviously, think of a FIFA match, for example. Say I have to pause the game to make a substitution. I normally cut that out with the Elgato's editing thing, where you can split clips and delete, very much like the Share Factory does with my Forza 7 Championship Season Mode playthrough. I do that with the Share Factory. Basically, I'm going to move all my sports games to the Share Factory at this point, because now I don't have video editing software. I'm pretty much done, because I'm probably not going to use the Elgato again, especially if this is working very well. So there's a free Elgato if someone wants it. But I don't, see, this is why it's not the Elgato that's the problem. I think the software is bugged. I personally think the software probably can't handle on my CPU now, or something. I don't know what's wrong with it. I mean, my uncle said it was always something about the software. I think he has a point. I really do. I think he might be right. I think the software is something is wrong with it. And that's what's causing the videos to do all this weird stuff. But with this thing, I've actually recorded some videos, like I said, this thing works like a dream apparently. It works great. Now, yes, it's new, it was relatively new when myself and Lady Tom bought it, but you know, at the same time, if it takes stress off the CPU, it's obviously not going to do that much work. So, I don't know whether my CPU was getting overloaded with the software being on there, or just I wasn't knowing how to use it, or I wasn't updating it, or whatever, but, you know, it was the streaming was the big selling point for me with getting this. I think streaming was, because I want to get into it, because it looks fun as hell. I think once we get a following, I can start playing with people online, and we can have fun streams together, so that'd be awesome. Might even record some of this for YouTube as well. I don't think you can stream and record at the same time, but I never do that anyway. That's not really a problem. I don't do that anyway, so that's not really an issue. So basically, the format change I was thinking about is basically just moving all my sport games to the Share Factory, which will lead to a few changes. With FIFA now, with the Share Factory, what I'm going to do is put the match as one video rather than splitting it into halves, which is what a lot of people do anyway. I know a lot of people do highlights and stuff, but I still want to keep kind of doing the entire like half. I don't want to split into that because I like it that way. I personally like it that way for myself. It's easier to do. It will still be live comm, don't worry about that. I'm not going to switch, it's not going to be Forza Championship Season Mode playthrough where it's going to be post-comm. It's not going to be post-commentary that I do. That'll be only for Formula 1 and other stuff. But with stuff such as football, I can still do live comm even with the microphone plugged in. I'm actually going to run a couple of tests on that and see how it works properly later. And basically when I got this all sorted. So it will still be live comm. The only thing you'll really notice is like transition between the end of the first half and the beginning of the second, and if we make a substitution, or if I have to pause the game to substitute because of an injury or something like that. So it's not really going to be that different. It's just going to be put into the Share Factory, which really isn't a problem anyway. I can still do all the sort of stuff I used to do with the Elgato, so it's not really an issue. I could have done it with FIFA 14 so many times ago, but they didn't even have the Share Factory when FIFA 14 came out. The console had just come out. So, you know, I could have done this a while ago. You know, and I'm thinking of doing other sports like MotoGP. I'm thinking of doing with that now. Maybe NBA. Maybe I could do it with. You know, maybe a UFC game, or you know, sports games will be generally Share Factory videos from now on, because I find it easier to do sport playthroughs with that, especially Formula 1, which could last. A video could last an hour, and there could be so many audio cuts and stuff with the Elgato anyway, so that would diminish the quality of that. So I really don't know what's wrong with the Elgato. It could be the software. My uncle could have a point. I didn't know, see, because I'm not smart. But with all I've run through this right now, it works like a dream. So basically, sport games will be Share Factory videos, and everything else will pretty much be the same, just with an AverMedia capture card instead of the Elgato, because everything on this just seems to work great at the moment. I mean, I didn't even unbox this thing yet. It just came in the post. I'm not going to unbox it because you know what the guys look like. So yeah, I'll be definitely streaming a lot more, and as will Lady Tomlin. So I'll have our stream links in the description of this video. So like I said, it's not really a huge change. It's just a capture card change and a bit of a format change involving the sport titles. Basically, all sport titles will be Share Factory videos, and all footage and stream footage is now recorded with this rather than the Elgato. The big thing with the streaming with the Elgato was really annoying, you know, because I want to set some high quality streams and I can't do that if the audio keeps cutting, and it was really annoying because I was trying to talk to people about stuff during loading and the audio would cut out. So I had a theory that it could be because I had the Twitch website on the screen, but you know, why? I'm sure people do that already. You know, people probably, Maximilian and such, they probably have the streams and they probably have the chat on the screen anyway. So it's not I guess, it works, sort of thing. And I'm still trying to get my head around it. I'm getting there. I'm getting with streaming, guys. It's just I haven't got anybody that watches it right now, so it's kind of lonely. But we'll get there. I'm not looking to make I don't make a penny out of this. Or I don't make a dime off of it, as the girl from Oz said about Life is Strange. Neither of us make any money off of it, so it's not something I have to worry about, because I wouldn't want to do that anyway. Gaming's been a hobby since I've been 5 years old. I could do it for a job easily, but I don't want to. Because it just puts so much expectation on me at that point that my brain would just, and there are some days where I just don't upload at all. So, I want to do things at my own leisurely pace. I find that a lot easier, basically. So I feel comfortable with the way I'm doing things. So once FIFA catches up to the most recent game, which was West Bromwich Albion, good thing that there's an international break this week, because then I can catch up, and then we can start having the Share Factory from next week when Manchester United face Leicester, I think. I'm not sure, but at least that'll be all called up, and then the Share Factory videos will kick off from there. I'll obviously run a test on that. Alright guys, I'm waffling again, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I didn't expect it to be 21 minutes. I was hoping it'd be shorter, but there was a bit to explain there, I guess. Alright guys, so nothing really much is going to change. It's just be sport playthroughs are the biggest change, because they'll be going through from the Share Factory, but it'll be basically the same as it was before, just in a different just a different capture card and a different kind of software for various stuff. Basically, nothing really much has changed at all. It's just a change of capture card and a change of format when it comes to playing the sport titles. So I'm done and I'm out of here, and I'm about to test everything out. I'll be probably spending a day or two testing this stuff out, and this is why I was kind of waiting on Tales of the Borderlands, because I was going to do it. I think it was last week. But, later on I bought this, and I wanted to kind of see for myself what it was like. So I will be definitely doing Tales of the Borderlands in the future. I'm sorry I've delayed it for so long. Game of Thrones is next week, so I'll be doing that. I'm just so sorry that I've delayed Tales of the Borderlands for so long. I've just been all over the stuff with doing other things, and now I've got to do some more stuff because I could do MotoGP, the Share Factory could have changed for FIFA. And I haven't had any time to, well, I guess I have, but in a sense I haven't been able to really sit down and play Tales of the Borderlands, so I'm definitely going to be doing that in the near future. I've got to get that up. I'm not getting Fallout 4, so that leaves me to an advantage as well, and Star Wars Battlefront comes out next week, but I don't think there's going to be much I could be doing on that, at least immediately. I'll see what happens with that, because obviously there's no campaign. We're not doing the campaign of Black Ops 3, we decided not to because neither of us have any Call of Duty Black Ops kind of stuff on our YouTubes already, so we decided against that. But later on, Ward and I did decide to do LEGO Dimensions for our channel. We don't know when we're starting it, but basically we're ready. We've got all the stuff we wanted to get for LEGO Dimensions, the both of us. We've pretty much got everything for the game right now. So that should be fun as hell. Later on, wants to finish the game before doing the playthrough. She wants to kind of make it a walkthrough kind of thing, even though it won't be a walkthrough because it won't be 100%. But now the fact that she's done the game, she'll know what to do and the playthrough won't drag on with us trying to figure out what the hell to do. So that should be nice and smooth when we eventually get around to that. That game looks amazing. I mean, the selling point for me, I haven't got it myself. I'm just going to use Lady Tom's. I'm going to plug it into my PS4 and put it on her channel because I haven't got any of the trophies or anything yet. Lady Tom has, so that's an advantage. But basically, this thing, the selling point for me was the Lego the Ghostbusters level. And at the end of the level, the Ghostbusters theme plays in the background while battling General Zod, I think it was. That was amazing. I love that bit. So that's gonna be a hell of fun when we get around to that. Alright guys, I think that's pretty much it. So no big changes, just two small ones with the capture card change and the format change for sports. I've already said it. God damn it, I'm gonna be out of here. Alright guys, major testing is inbound. I will definitely see you in the near future with more stuff. FIFA will probably finish in a couple of days. I'll be all caught up by then. and then we'll start Bethesda City with the video turning software, and I will seriously get Tales of the Borderlands done because I'm hearing how amazing it is, and it's annoying me that I can't do it right now because I'm doing something else. You know what I mean? I don't want to do too much at once and just have all this stuff backlogged. You know, I don't really want to do that. I kind of want to pace myself a little bit because I find it easier that way. Alright guys, so that will definitely be coming in the future, I promise. I haven't forgotten about it. And of course, obviously with my change of playing everything on PS4, I had to do the first 2 episodes of the game anyway. So obviously with those changes as well. So, but I'm all caught up at that and ready to roll from episode 3. So that's definitely coming. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Sorry it's been so long, I didn't expect it to be. Yeah, nothing's really changed, I guess, except the capture card and the format. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Peace out.